A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a bold move reminiscent of historical military nomenclature, President Donald Trump is set to sign an executive order today that will officially rename the Department of Defense to the Department of War, a title that has not been used since the late 1940s. The change comes as part of a broader strategy by the Trump administration to instill a warrior ethos within the Pentagon, emphasizing a more aggressive stance on national defense and military operations. The announcement accompanies a series of other executive orders aimed at addressing international issues, including a new policy that would enable the U.S. to impose sanctions on countries that unlawfully detain American citizens or take them hostage. The timing of these announcements is particularly notable, as the U.S. labor market has shown signs of strain, with recent government data revealing that only 22,000 jobs were added in August, far below the anticipated 80,000. The unemployment rate has also ticked up slightly from 4.2% to 4.3%. Top officials within the Trump administration, including Kevin Hassett, director of the National Economic Council, have acknowledged the disappointing figures, with Hassett describing the jobs report as a little bit of a disappointment number. Despite the bleak statistics, Labor Secretary Lori Chavez-DeRemer emphasized that the overall economy remains in a positive trajectory. In the wake of these economic challenges, the Pentagon is increasing its military presence in the Caribbean, deploying 10 F-35 fighter jets amid escalating tensions with Venezuela over drug trafficking and narcoterrorism. This deployment follows a recent military strike that resulted in the sinking of a Venezuelan vessel, which officials claim was transporting illegal drugs. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has indicated that this operation is just the beginning of a larger campaign targeting Venezuelan drug cartels, underscoring the administration's commitment to a more aggressive military posture. On social media, Trump has expressed frustration over ongoing inquiries into the Epstein case, labeling it the Epstein hoax and accusing Democrats of politicizing the issue. He has called for an end to what he perceives as unfounded investigations, asserting that the Department of Justice has fulfilled its obligations regarding the case. Meanwhile, Democrats are pushing for legislation that would compel the Trump administration to release all federal files related to Epstein, aiming to increase transparency and accountability. The proposed executive order aimed at designating countries that engage in wrongful detention of U.S. nationals is modeled after the designation of state sponsors of terrorism. This measure would grant the State Department new tools to penalize nations that use detained Americans as leverage in political negotiations. Such a designation could also lead to travel restrictions on U.S. passport holders, further complicating international relations. The rebranding of the Department of Defense to the Department of War has sparked debate among military veterans and political analysts. Critics, including retired NASA astronaut Captain Mark Kelly, have voiced their disapproval, suggesting that such a move reflects a disconnect from the realities of military service and the sacrifices made by those who have served. Kelly remarked, "Only someone who avoided the draft would want to rename the Department of Defense to the Department of War." In a recent interview, Secretary of Defense Hegseth defended the name change, arguing that the terminology used within the military matters and that the rebranding aims to convey a stronger message of readiness and resolve. He stated, "We won World War I, and we won World War II, not with the Department of Defense, but with a War Department. We want warriors, folks that understand how to exact lethality on the enemy." As the administration prepares to implement these significant changes, the implications of renaming the Department of Defense and the potential for increased military engagement abroad raise questions about the future direction of U.S. foreign policy. With economic challenges looming and international tensions escalating, the Trump administration's strategy will undoubtedly be scrutinized in the coming weeks and months. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.